So it's very challenging, you know.
But why do you do it?
Because I believe that the social injustice in America has gotten to a point that it must be stopped, because the middle class, the gap is just growing and growing. There is no middle class, and we have people that do not care if our people are starving. They don't care if you're homeless. They don't care. A lot of these homeless people are vets and people that need treatment, and not all, but a lot. And it's gotten to the point to where basically there is no love for strangers, for your neighbor, for anybody. It's basically a world where, you know, you get what you can get for yourself and move on, and don't worry about anybody else because they must be lazy or druggies or whatever the reason that they stay. And that's not always the truth. Of course, there are cases that is true, but that's not always the truth. And I just feel that the social injustices continue growing, and the leaders that have destroyed our country and got us to where we are now are still leading our country to this day. And so many people are sleeping and not realizing what's going on. So they continue sleeping and criticizing us, which, if you're getting all of your information from your local media, I would agree, get them off the streets, but that's not who we are. I'm a full-time student. We have a variety of people out here, people that own businesses, people that have doctorate degrees. My professor is actually who told me about it, and she occupies. So it's a variety of people, and I just wish people would speak with us before they talk negatively about us. And of course, that's not always the case most of the time. But I strongly believe in social justice, and I believe that at some point we're going to see a transfer of wealth from the unjust to the just. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it's going to be very challenging, but I'm willing to be here indefinitely until we accomplish our goals.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hello.
I wanted to just talk about my Tulsa experiences, but I also spent some time in New York, if you want me to talk about that, at Occupy Wall Street.
Sure. Why? How about you introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Frank Grove. I'm a master's student at the University of Tulsa in computer science. I'm funded by the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship. And for about 2 years I've been doing research in online democracy. Basically, there's two facets to that, both creating a democratic system and also ensuring that there's only one vote per person, which is quite a challenge on the internet. And so I've been working with the national occupation, or at least the New York City General Assembly, and what's now the national occupation, since about the first week. And
when was that?
When? Almost 2 months ago now, I guess. Yeah. So about the week after I got on the mailing lists for the New York City General Assembly, started talking to the technology people, and then I went up there and stayed in the park for about 9 days. And I connected with people. There's people coming from all around the country there with the same idea that I had, to connect with like-minded, internet democracy activists. And there's a really all of us have been working in our own little threads for so long, and really what's happening with this movement is that all these people with the ideas that we need a modern democracy and we need a modern, financial and economic system are coming together and coalescing. And for the first time, all these disparate kind of efforts are working together. There's efforts for internet democracy in Canada, Spain, Germany, all over the world, Egypt, even Tunisia. And so when you look at what's happening kind of outside the public eye there, it's really, really motivating, and it's something that the occupation isn't really getting forth, because everyone says, well, they have no message, they have no demands. And we don't need demands, because we're not going to demand something from someone else. We're going to do it ourselves, and it's about being the change you want to see. It's not about asking someone else to change for you,
And I have a question. Is what is going on today, which is a gathering of people for a Thanksgiving meal, is that the change you want to see?
No, this is a gathering of people to create fellowship and trust. And yeah, I think that trust is something that we've lost in this world. in a money economy, you don't need to trust the person you're buying goods from, because you can just replace them, with some other person that you buy from. But in a community, you have to trust, and you have to, know the people you're working with, and you're dealing with, and you're exchanging goods with. And I think that a big part of the movement and a big part of what's happening here today is creating a community of trust and of giving, Thanksgiving, that we don't have in our normal, society, where you just exchange goods from the service person, and that's what they are to you. They're the service person, and if you don't like them, or they die, or they get sick, you can just replace them. And that's, I don't value money over people. So yeah, I think that Thanksgiving is a good event to embody that community and trust.
Can I have you read the First Amendment?
Yeah, it's not off the top of my head, no. There's a Constitution around here everywhere. I'm really terrible at memorizing quotes and all those things. I'm a computer science conceptual person. People always quoting movies around me, and I just sit there staring off into space. Yeah. I got a Constitution over here.
Let me pause this real quick.
Sure.
How you doing? I used you. I don't know if you heard. I did a thing on pepper spray.
Oh, sweet. No,
You should listen to it.
I haven't heard it yet, but I want to.
You're in there.
Sweet.
It's funny. Hold on one second.
No problem.
You're like, what do you say? You're like, the officer came up behind my back and said, "Sir, I'm going to have to spray you in the face. I'm going to have to mace you in the face."
You did.
And you're like, "Officer, you're part of the 99%. Do what you need to do." 1, 2, 3. And he sprayed me in the face. With
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear
with
it.
some dramatic music. It's funny. Yeah, and a couple of radio stations around the country bought it, which is cool. So
That's awesome.
people in Washington State will hear your voice. And he sprayed me in the face.
1, 2, 3.